to be successful in the civil rights movement. That is how we're able to do economic boycotts and be successful. That is how Black Americans are arguably the most successful and influential Black people in the world. Whereas Africans, they are 54 countries, thousands of tribes. They don't see kinship based on.
I am not an African. I am a Black American. What that means is that my entire family has come from America. I am the descendant of people that were slaves. That's what that means when I tell you that I am a Black American. That means that the people that have been in my family for generations built this country. That means that my grandfather, who served in World War II, that helped fight and defend this country, and was, by the way, denied GI Bill benefits because he was Black, is a part of the history of this country. I am not Haitian. I'm not Nigerian. I am not from any of these other countries. I am a full-blooded 100% Black American. And what that means is that I will speak on Black American culture in any way that I please, but what I will also do is I will not allow for it to continue to be co-opted by Africans who come here with so many more resources than your average Black American does, try to wrap themselves up in our struggle, our oppression, our history, and try to co-opt every space that we have built for ourselves, like they've done in the destruction of the Essence Music Festival. So don't try to discount what I say and try to pretend that I'm Haitian or I'm not American or whatever. No, I'm 100% Black American.
Yes, this is Carter, the advisor. Today, I just want to talk about something quite interesting. I believe that everybody would like to understand why is these days, 2025, over the internet, everybody's talking about one thing. I feel like there's a big feuds, a big brawl between, Black American, African, and Black from the Caribbean. Nobody wants to identify as what? The Black American does not want to identify as African because he is not African. He considered like he is American. And the African is a bit upset and does not want to even think about the Black American as American because they feel that Black American do not have manners, they do not have a culture, and they are not really African American. They're just whatever they are. And Black African and mostly Black American don't want to either identify as Haitian, Jamaican, or any Black person from the Caribbean. And I'm like, what is really going on, And is there a lack of history, or is there a factor of division? What's really popping? What's really going on? And now I've been thinking about a few reasons. First and foremost, a Black American probably does not want to identify as an African, because there's not a country called Africa. There's a continent called Africa. So as a matter of fact, you wouldn't really call yourself African, actually, because you are not African. You can probably, be a Congolese. You can be, a Nambian or someone, wherever you are, you have a nationalities, because I believe that Africa has about 54 countries, meaning each of these countries probably have a few tribes. That means they don't really call themselves African, so that's number one. So from this point on, I will definitely support the Black American, if he says that I am not African. How about Haitians? Well, a Haitian also can say the same thing, to say, okay, I am not African, but I am Haitian. Why? Well, because the Haitian is definitely from the Western Hemisphere. They have lived there for a very long time. They have acquired a constitution. They have a country, and they have everything that would allow them to consider themselves as Haitian. They have a literature, pretty much everything that you need, like we get it. Now, Africa is definitely the bastion of let's say Africa is the motherland. No matter what is really going on, Africa, the continent, is always going to be remembered as the propulsor, or the country that gave birth to all of the people that we see over here. Whether your name is an African American, or you want to call yourself a Black American, or you want to call yourself a Jamaican, a Haitian, definitely we are all from Africa. But that does not mean we are African. Africa is a continent. It's not a nation. Let's put it this way. Now, the second thing I would also look like is people relate to what is considered to be positive. Of course, an African American or a Black American sometimes may not want to identify as Haitian, or is not going to appreciate, what Haiti is about, because whatever is pictured, in the media or everywhere is always the bad thing. Because of that, they do not really see any reason. They don't have any incentive to be considered as Haitian, although we have so much to learn from. Haiti has so much to learn from. Same thing for Africa. So when you're looking at Africa, yes, definitely this is the bastion of everything. So this is one of the richest continent ever. But nobody wants to.
Guys, I have a serious question. What is the feud between African Americans and Africans? Because recently I've been seeing people from both sides attacking each other. Like, we can't be coming for each other. We're supposed to have each other's backs, I know I've been seeing some people say Africans are kind of snobby, entitled. I don't really know much about that, so I feel like maybe there's just some cultural difference there. But I also saw some people say that African Americans are not embracing their roots and not embracing where we came from, meaning Africa. But then someone else said that we're stealing their culture, that they're holding on to African culture because they actually don't have a culture, and that if it wasn't for their skin color, they would just be white Americans. Now, I can't speak for everyone, but my family is from New Orleans. We have culture. Just search up Louisiana Creole if you're actually interested. Yes, we have our own foods, jambalaya, gumbo, etouffee, to name a few of many. We have our own dances and music. Jazz originated in New Orleans, Second Line, and Bounce. I know y'all been singing the Trip Out dance all over TikTok. I don't really know. I'm just saying, like, Princess Tiana. Anyways, guys, I think it's just crazy to see another way Black people are attacking each other. We gotta be standing up for each other. We can't just be having more people bringing us down.
All right, the biggest difference that I noticed between Black Americans and Africans with this whole conversation about delineation is not how they look, it's how they think. Black Americans are very much community-based. That is how they were able to be successful in the civil rights movement. That is how we're able to do economic boycotts and be successful. That is how Black Americans are arguably the most successful and influential Black people in the world. Whereas Africans, they are 54 countries, thousands of tribes. They don't see kinship based on Blackness. They don't think of you as their brother or sister because of your complexion. And that is the key difference between the two. So you can't expect them to come to America and all of a sudden change their mindset and say, I see this Black American as my brother and sister, somebody I should look out for, somebody I should, like. And because we share a common struggle or we have a common goal, I don't see it as that. It's about me, my tribe, my family, and about us elevating. So this is why people are saying delineation is important, because you have individuals who look like the collective, benefiting off the collective, but they don't have the collective mindset. Black Americans are very much, how is it going to affect the whole? We know we are judged on the whole. Anytime anything happens, like this mass unaliving the other day, and it's a brother, why he have to do us like that? We look at it as a community. Whereas Africans, they say, that's that person. Do not judge everyone. We are not all like that. There's the first thing we saw is skin color. We didn't look at, there was a shooter who did this, judge that person. We know America is going to look at, that was a Black man. This is what Black people do. I'm going to just say this. You don't want people messing in your hair or your food if they have something in their heart against you. Even if you want to go out and support more this business. Just be mindful, be careful of doing that. But I don't believe there was no reason to boycott. You have good African businesses and you have bad African business. You can judge those accordingly. Some people absolutely understand and respect the black dollar and have earned the black dollar. Whereas boycotting is not necessary, I believe that delineation is necessary. And if anything, the boycott showed many people just how others view Black Americans. But the delineation is necessary to preserve culture, to preserve legacy, to preserve inheritance. Black Americans have a very special right to this land. And we that are here have a duty not to let the ancestors' work go to waste.
Brothers and sisters, it's Black Americans versus Africans. Again. But this time, the whole world is watching. Here on Kelly Real Talk, we dig deeper. Because this isn't just social media beef. It's about history, identity, pain, pride, and the possibility of unity. Let's unpack this. So what started this? Well, some TikTokers from the US, particularly those identifying as FBA, Foundational Black Americans, started calling out Africans for being ungrateful, disrespectful, or copying their culture. In response, some Africans fired back, saying Black Americans are lost, have no culture, or are jealous of Africa's rise. Then came the duets, the stitches, the fake accents, the clowning, and the disrespect. Even Caribbean voices, especially Jamaicans, jumped in, either defending one side or trying to calm both sides down. It's wild. To understand what's happening, we need to understand the pain and trauma that both sides carry. Black Americans come from centuries of slavery, Jim Crow, and systemic racism in the US. They built America with their blood, and many feel they've never been respected for it. Meanwhile, many Africans were colonized, had their cultures suppressed, and are still rebuilding from that legacy. Some Africans feel judged and mocked when they come to the West. They're called African booty scratchers or told they're dirty or speak funny. Both sides carry wounds, but instead of healing together, social media is turning us against each other. Let's talk about FBA and ADOS, movements led by people like Tariq Nasheed and Yvette Carnell. Their goal is to focus on the specific justice and reparations owed to descendants of U.S. slavery. But many FBA supporters have taken it further, accusing Africans and Caribbeans of benefiting from our struggle without showing respect. Some of these critiques are rooted in real frustration. Black immigrants do sometimes get access to jobs or opportunities that were created through Black American resistance. But when the tone becomes xenophobic, it pushes away potential allies. Now let's talk about the Caribbean, especially Jamaicans. Jamaica has a long history of Black pride and resistance, from Marcus Garvey to the Maroon Warriors. Jamaicans don't like being disrespected either. Some Jamaicans on TikTok are saying, "Don't drag us into your beef. We've got our own identity, our own struggles, our own pride." But there are also Jamaicans calling for unity, reminding everyone that we are all children of the same stolen story. Whether you're in Trenchtown or the Bronx, the struggle of the Black diaspora is interconnected. Now here's a serious point. TikTok's algorithm loves conflict. If you mock someone's accent or clap back with a hot take, it gets views. And guess what? More people jump in. More stitches, more anger, more profit. For TikTok, not for us. So we have to ask, who's really benefiting from Black Americans and Africans attacking each other? Certainly not us. This brings us to the clash between Pan-Africanism and Black American nationalism. Pan-Africanism says, we're all one people, and we need to unite across borders to fight global anti-Blackness. But FBA ADOS say, hold on, our history is unique, don't lump us in, we deserve specific justice. Both arguments have truth, but they don't have to cancel each other out. We can fight for reparations and reconnect with Africa. We can honor our different histories while still building a future together. Imagine if instead of beefing, we use TikTok to bridge the gap, sharing culture, music, history, and real dialogue. Imagine FBA, Jamaicans, Nigerians, and Ghanaians building platforms together, creating businesses, film, education networks, together. It's not a fantasy, it's possible. But first, we need to stop seeing each other as threats. To my Black American brothers and sisters, your fight is real. Your legacy is unmatched. But your strength doesn't get smaller when others rise beside you. To my African family, your pride is powerful. But it doesn't shine brighter by dimming someone else's light. To my Jamaicans and Caribbeans, you are the bridge. Use your voice to call for respect and unity. TikTok can make us fight, but we choose what happens next. Don't let hashtags divide what the ancestors died hoping we'd rebuild. Unity. If you learned something today, drop a comment below. What's your take on this Black American versus African situation? Are you from the Caribbean? What's your experience? Hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear the truth, and don't forget to subscribe to Kelly Real Talks, where the diaspora comes to connect. One love, one truth, one future.